The man pulled out a high-tech laser pen and drew a circle on the sewer grate. The entrance to the tunnel immediately opened up. Bob pulled out his smart watch and activated the navigation system. He quickly pinpointed the target's location. As he approached the ventilation shaft, Bob swiftly unbuckled his belt, and with a flick of his wrist, it transformed into a steel rod. Like a tiger pouncing on its prey, he quickly subdued two large men. The villain, Paul, saw things were going south and tried to make a quick escape, but Bob, with his smooth parkour skills, blocked his way. Frustrated, Paul drew his retractable baton and charged at Bob, pulled out his multi-purpose belt and forcing him to retreat. Soon, agents from the intelligence agency arrived and quickly captured Paul. After completing the mission, Bob was ready to retire. His boss still tried hard to convince him to stay, but Bob made it clear this would be his last mission. He planned to marry Jill and live a normal life. Before he left, his boss gave him a watch as a keepsake, telling him that kids aren't always easier to deal with than bad guys. Bob smiled and thought to himself, how hard can kids really be? But in reality, Jill's children didn't like Bob at all. The eldest daughter thought Bob was just a pen salesman and considered his life a complete failure. The youngest daughter, however, said that Bob was a good man and didn't think he was that bad. As for the little son, his imagination ran wild, and he speculated that Bob might actually be a Terminator from the future. It was on Bob's first visit to Jill's house when the kid's little cat got stuck on the roof. When Bob walked over to greet the kids, the eldest daughter and the little son turned and walked away coldly. The youngest daughter continued anxiously calling the cat's name. Bob noticed that no one else was around, so he activated his fancy climbing skills. He skillfully climbed up to the roof and brought the cat down. Jill took Bob inside and complained that the signal receiver on the roof was broken. She said she had called several times, but no one came to fix it. So that evening, Bob disguised himself and went to Jill's rooftop, taking out tools to start repairing the signal receiver. At that moment, he overheard the eldest daughter talking on the phone with a friend. She didn't want Jill to find a new stepfather, because she was hoping her biological father would come back. When Jill decided to marry Bob, the eldest daughter had a big argument with her. Meanwhile, Paul, the villain Bob had previously captured, was rescued by his accomplices. They seemed to be conducting some secret experiments, and Paul was planning to take revenge on Bob. Bob's partner quickly called him to say that Paul had escaped from prison and was on the loose. Bob, however, said that this was no longer his responsibility, but his partner still begged him to help crack a file password, as he suspected there might be an informant in the organization. Considering their past collaboration, Bob agreed to help. He entered his study and plugged in a pen, which activated a high-tech computer in front of him. Just as he was about to crack the password, Jill came in with some bad news. Her father had suddenly been hospitalized, and she needed to take care of him. Bob offered to look after the kids so they could get to know each other better. Although Jill knew the kids would be difficult to handle, she had no other choice but to agree. So, the kids were sent to Bob's house. But can Bob really handle these 3 kids?